your laptop. So we're about to start the next section. All right, please. So we are heading into international relations, international system. Hello, Mr. Who, who can tell me what is international system? When we say international system, what do we mean? International system. Global governance. Okay. Who else?
I think international systems are procedures, laws, and systems put in place to govern or what is the word? To govern or manage the relationship between nations or states.
Wow, wonderful. Who else? International system. Emmanuel Obi.
It could be political structure laid down for maintaining good relationship between two countries. Political structure, or it can be an economic structure in maintaining relationship and exchange of goods and services in political, I would like to say, inclusiveness between two countries. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Also, I would say international systems is diplomatic system.
What do you mean by diplomatic?
By diplomatic, by diplomacy, I mean the relationship that countries have. You get the respectful relationship that country have. Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, I don't know if it's right or accurate, but I would say like international system is like United Nations is a deal and partnership between different international countries to deal about the politic and financial, economic, and also about the treaty for avoid any kind of conflict, could be economic, financial, territorial, or other.
Any other person? Chinedu, international system. Jesus. What does Jesus has to do with international? What has Jesus got to do with international system?
Okay, I would say that international system refers to political structure and interaction among different countries in relation to global affairs.
Okay, Professor Dare.
Please pass on the mic. Thank you.
We can liken it to the global structure of interactions among nations, organizations, actors that shape political space, like the UN, World Trade Organization, IMF, governing cooperation, trade, and conflict resolution.
Okay.
Okay, international system also can be said to be the structures of interactions or relations between states and international organizations. Those systems can include economic, political, security, and other dynamics that shapes relationship between nations. Thank you.
Wonderful. Another person? So, another person on what is international system? You have not finished? I've not heard some voice, please. He said already. Yeah.
Seppi? Are you saying something?
Okay, so International system refers to the complex network of relationships, institutions, rules, and structures that govern interactions among sovereign states and other international actors, such as international organizations, non-governmental organizations, multinational corporations, and other non-state entities. Are you there? It is the framework in which global politics, diplomacy, trade, security, and conflicts take place. So, system. Pardon? No, I'm just trying to get information before I get to the how we connect international system with security. I have the slide for that particular one, but this particular one is on my system. So, international system, do you understand that? The word system is about the network, those that are involved, things that are involved in dealing with international affairs. Of course, you mentioned sovereign states. That is a country, nation state, a country. Then you talk about international organizations, UN, and so on and so forth. And then you have World Trade Organization, IMF, European Union, and other unions that are helpful in terms of organization. International system will talk about global norms and laws. The law governs by norms, treaties, international laws that dictate the behavior of states and other actors. When you talk of international system, the laws cover a wide range of issues, including human rights, environmental protection, trade, armed conflict, diplomacy, and territorial disputes. Remember, we have International Court of Justice. It's a system, a court of legal that takes legal disputes. Power dynamics. Remember anarchy. Remember interdependence and globalization. Remember diplomacy. Remember international relations. Remember conflict and cooperation. Then, when you talk about international system, you have to remember and define them according to the theories. What do we mean by theories? Several theories have developed and explained, analyzed the international system theories. Because when you talk about nation states, it's not the way Thailand will define what it is, it's the way another country will define. If you talk about international organizations, it's not the way Myanmar will see it, it's the way Indonesia will see it. So now, even their government depends on who is in charge. For example, in America right now, you know, Trump doesn't seem to align himself with international organizations. Are you there? Why? Because you have to define it based on theories. What does that mean? Realism, liberalism, constructivism, Marxism, and so on and so forth. Are you there? Hello? Mm-hmm. Realism argues that the international system is anarchic and states must prioritize their own survival and security, often through power balancing or military build-up. Realists emphasize the inevitability of conflict in the world of competing powers. In other words, somebody with a realist mindset most often thinks that all these United Nations stuff, organizations, they are just for some country to make money. That they are useless, is not needed. They are only there for the selfish interest of some countries. Hello, are you there? That is the point, the mindset of realists or realism. They argue that the international system is useless. International court of law, whatever. That politicians are there discussing based on their own interests, not for the sake of justice. Any point? Then think about liberalism. Liberalism suggests that cooperation is possible in international system through international institutions, trade, diplomacy. Liberals believe that states can work together to promote peace and mutual benefit through multilateral frameworks. I don't know if you're getting the point here. before we even get to the security dimension of international system, we are talking about understanding it first of all. What is international system and who defines it? Realist doesn't see that as an avenue. They only see that as an avenue for powerful countries to become more powerful for their own selfish interests. Liberalists believe that that is the best for the world because they collaborate, they cooperate to make life better for their citizens. There are other ones that are other theory called constructivism, focuses on importance of ideas, beliefs, and identities in shaping the behavior of states and other international actors. Constructivists argue that international system is socially constructed and can change over time based on shared norms and values. America can believe in realists today, tomorrow they turn to liberalists, depending on who is in charge and depending on their interests. Are you there? Okay, now, if you then understand this concept about international system and what is this, and then let's get back to our slide today. Meaning of international security, meaning of security in international relations. Are you there? Okay. I'm now starting. Please, if you are on your phone or your laptop, help us, please. Is it coming up? In an international system, security refers to the measures and strategies taken by states. By the way, you should have this. You have it already. Yes, it's here. So you're supposed to be looking at it in order to get it clear. In an international system, security refers to the measures and strategies taken by states, international organizations, and other actors to ensure their safety, sovereignty, and stability from external and internal threats. The concept is multifaceted and can encompass political, military, economic, environmental, and human security. We are talking about international system here in relation to security. Yes, we have UN here, but how are they being protected if you put them in a war zone? Yes, we have UN. We are permanent members, security members. How do they talk? Do they have the power to even put things in order? But how come there is a great war between Russia and Ukraine? Where is the international system there? Are you there? Let's move on. Now, I use another concept here, international relations. International relations. Here, security refers to the measures and strategies employed by states and other actors to protect their sovereignty, territorial integrity, and political stability from external and internal threats. It is central to the study of international security, which focuses on the prevention of conflict, the management of risks, and the protection of national and global peace. In international relations, security can be understood in several dimensions, each shaping how states interact with each other and address potential risks. Here's how security is typically viewed in international relations. Please, what is different between international system and international relations? Can somebody help me? These are terminologies in this department. Can you differentiate between international system and international relations? Very simple. Do you have mic there? Who's having it?
Yeah, it's here.
Okay.
So, if I'm not wrong, maybe international system, like you said, is surrounding many different kind of system into an international relation, and the other one is international
Relations.
relation. Actually, I think is more connecting on conflicts, territorial conflicts, and politics and diplomacy more than financial or economics. Like you said, that I think international system is mostly for the countries, like you said, the developed countries to get more higher, more powerful in a selfish interest. And this one international. I forget again. International.
You almost getting it, but you are shaky.
I would say just one concern: the full. Complete.
I want the difference between international system and international relations. He said he wants to help you.
So just the international system is the global, and this one that you said international
Which one that
relation is just a part of international system.
Let's see. Let's hear from another person. Everything you said is not wrong, but not the complete answer.
Short answer. So international relations is more into the process.
More
process. The
process.
Yeah, the process. And the international system is a product of that process. So international system is a form. It's a form of the many entity. Like you said, the networking or among the state or organization, and then the system is the product of that relations.
Wow. I say something is getting into CEPI nowadays. Why is CEPI so excited and getting almost everything correctly? Is it because he's about to go back to Indonesia? What happened, the CEPI? I must commend you, CEPI. What happened? Because nowadays you are becoming a staunch intellectual.
The reason is because I am close with all the students. So
you are getting close
with the students.
Unlike before?
Yeah, not like before.
Oh my God.
Now I'm a bit confident to speak even my English is not really perfect, but then they are
Because I must tell you, I never knew that you're so intelligent like this. Okay, let's move on. What is the difference between international system and international relations?
I think, in my own view, the international system here should be a political structure or economic structure. How the system is being, it's just a structure design, is a template design which we help or which will be used in interaction. Now, the system there is the template, how the international community, the organization IMF, how it was structured into different departments, the United Nations, the IMF, the treaties provided for interaction between two countries, the laws and the norms there. So all the system includes both the structure, the laws guiding it, both the treaties, the kind of, many different different departments in the international community, both United Nations, IMF, and all those organizations. They come up together to make up what a system, that is that structure they lay down. Then the relationship, the international relation is how the way they interact. Why the system? There is a structure that helps them to interact, that guides the interaction, which should be the treaties.
Was it the interaction first before the structure, or structure first before the interaction?
Structure first, then the interaction. Structure, then the interaction.
Then who put the structure?
That is the countries that come together to make up the United Nations.
Then, in other words, is it international relation first before international system, or international system first before international
system
relation?
First, then the relation.
How come system? If you say system is a structure, did it just come from heaven?
No,
that international relations.
Before, in an organization, for example, let's say you want to start an organization and you form the group.
Who formed the group?
The different countries come together to.
Then that's what I'm asking. Yeah. And international relations and the international system, which one is? If it is international system, who put it there?
I think, okay, let me come here.
We have been waiting for you to come.
Okay, in relation.
Navid, what
in relation.
Round up, let Navid.
Okay, let me round up now. First, there has been international relationship between two countries.
So you're not saying that.
The invasion of the structure.
Okay, now you're not no.
Yes, the reason I will adhere, reason I will agree with you on this is because I
didn't say anything.
The international system was built after the war, I think. Before it was built as a result of the World War.
Yes, the world, then they go back, they go back to establish the body that will guide the relationship. And I think this happened during colonialism. I don't know.
Okay, Navid, take it from there. Navid, take it. Let's hear from you.
I think international relation come first before long time ago between some countries, for example, in Europe or Africa, to maintain some sort of stability, economic stability, and also peace treaty stability. And after World War II, when the Allies win against the Nazi, they wanted to create a system to not get a new world war. It could be dangerous for economy, for physical, so for people, for everything. So they established the international system to block on international relationship. I mean, international relationship was not strong enough to avoid conflict in many categories. And I think they established, after World War II, they established the international system to structure more stronger this relation between countries. For example, you can see that in the Cold War, when the Russian and the American was starting to make economic war against each other, there was the United Nations created after World War II to stabilize this international system, to not create a new World War III, because they call it Cold War, they call it maybe beginning of World War III. So at this moment, they make laws, they make treaties, they make a veto system, they make a lot of things to block countries to go into conflict.
Wonderful. Chelsea, do you want to say anything?
I will answer your question that you asked first.
Okay.
You asked the difference between international relations and international systems. I tend to agree with Obi because he said international systems are the framework and rules, right, that are supposed to govern everyone else, while international relations will analyze how countries will interact within that framework.
Then in your own concept, which one is first? Which one is, because one must
I don't dispute that there were relations between countries before. However, looking at IS, international systems, and IR, international relations, international systems are the larger body. It's not international.
By who? Created by who?
Created by countries that came together.
How did they create it?
Based on what Navid has said.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah, something happened. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now let's get back to the answer given by Emmanuel Obi and Navid. Yes, I think I will, first of all, because remember when I was talking to Shika, as a student of international relations, you must be specific. Now, don't forget there was the Peace of Westphalia. But by the way, prior to the, who can tell me what brought about the Peace of Westphalia in 1648? What brought about it?
The Korean War.
What brought about the Peace of Westphalia? Westphalia. When they started talking about nations, because initially it wasn't like that. What did we have before Westphalian states? Do you know? What do we have before we started talking about states, nation state, country, nation? There was something before. No. United Nations has not been in existence in 1648.
In 1648.
Westphalia, Peace of Westphalia.
It was the 30 Years' War.
No, that's
the
not.
Roman Empire. The Roman Empire.
Yes, what has been in existence was mostly empires.
Yeah.
Empires, kings, and then a kind of religious, whatever. So the French will now begin to revolt and kill their king and take the head, because they were, all this bourgeoisie and proletariat thing was very strong then. There was nothing like a country, this country, that what you had is an empire, Roman Empire, British Empire, Ethiopian Empire, so many empires.
The Chinese Empire.
So many empires. Then, because problems were here and there, it didn't start today. Then that's where the idea of Peace of Westphalia, just to make peace, they now had a conference.
Before that peace of 1648, the countries, or rather not the countries, the empires, specifically the Roman Empire was having a war between the Catholics and the Protestants for like over 30 years. They could not agree. Are we Catholic? Are we Protestant? If a king comes from this lineage, he cannot be accepted. He gets hanged and stuff like that. So I think what brought about it was the cultivation of the mind and making people realize of they agreed on a religion and then they started signing the treaties now based on that.
If you read the international relations story, you will enjoy this class you are. The point that most of you don't read. So then now, because of exactly what she said and the problem, then we started Peace of Westphalia in 1648. They established the modern state system, making the end of religious war in Europe and recognizing the sovereignty of states. So there's no longer the empire. You just elect your president or prime minister. It wasn't like that before. So, if you understand this, then you will understand international relations. Because when they now gathered together, that is when they started building. No, they have not even started. They started recognizing states as nation states. But even at that, problem continued.
Religious crisis.
Problem continued. War continued until now it led to First World War. Remember that the wars had been ever before the First World War. Emmanuel, are you here? Yes. Sure? Okay. Remember that Europeans war, initially they call it European wars. They were killing themselves like we do now in some developing countries, and we think it started there. No, no, no. The kind of killings in those days by the Europeans, you will never imagine. It has never happened even, in my own view, in Africa. So they were dismantling themselves, killing themselves in Europe. Normally, you can call it European wars. But then, in 1931 or 41? 14. First World War. 1914. Correct. 1914. Then they began the First World War. What led the First World War was actually that European kind of war. Serbians, they are there. Austria-Hungary, they are there. And because of the visit of the prince and then the attack, because already there were wars in Europe. And that led to the First World War.
Prince Ferdinand.
Yes, Ferdinand. So after the First World War, they thought everything is okay. But then they had a meeting to punish who?
Treaty of Versailles, punish Germany.
To punish Germany. They have to pay for the war. And in order to pay for the war, they removed some portion of German territory, and they also punished Germany in such a way that German people started feeling hungry, starvation, and whatever. Then politicians will always have an opportunity. Hitler now saw that. And then from there he became a prime minister. The man goes, are you in this class actually? I don't think in my class, I don't know who does what, no matter how you hide and seek. Okay. Are you still getting following the story? Yeah. So Hitler just immediately used the opportunity to key into the masses because they were suffering, and some of the portion of their territory were also taken. That actually what led to the Second World War. After that Second World War, that is when actually they started creating international system to maintain the peace.
If I'm not wrong, the first the first thing that appeared international system was the League of Nations. The Court of La Haye.
League of the Nations. The first would have been called the League of the Nations, but the product of the League of the Nations was actually what led to Second World War. So it was actually after the Second World War that they now started creating all these systems that had kept the world at peace relatively we're seeing today. United Nations, World Trade Organization, IMF established in order to pay for certain destructions in the war, and etc., another non-organizational system again.
If I'm not wrong, because this one also is important, United Nations, but I think the first thing that they do is like protecting individuals with law, the court of La Haye after World War II to punish all. Because there was a problem after World War I, they see that there was no law protecting.
I think the strongest in that system is United Nations.
Yes.
Because the League of the Nations was actually weak. I think it was supported by Americans, and yet they were not available for it. Was they call it too idealistic.
Yes.
So many ideas, but not practical. Then, as soon as Second World War erupted, and after the America even entered the war, because as soon as America entered the war ended. After the bombing of Japanese and blah, 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 blah. We're going to look at it in this class, First World War and Second World War. You will get to know, you have to tell the story by yourself. Then after that, they now started creating this system. So international relations have been there, but then the system, as Emmanuel explained, and as Navid had also echoed on, was actually put in place to maintain that relations. And then that's why they listed 5 permanent security
Council
members.
Yeah.
Do you know 5 of them?
Sure. USA, UK,
Britain,
China,
France, China, Russia.
Really?
They are permanent security members because they are very powerful. They now came together to keep on looking at the system. This system that was created. Unfortunately, one member can veto everything. If the 4 says yes, 1 said no.
Nothing pass.
Okay, I think Navid has to say something before your question. Do you have mic there?
I was thinking about, I was thinking about in the security, can we include also atomic and nuclear security? Because we talk a lot about the United Nations and everything, but the veto, I think, was created overall for also nuclear conflict.
What do you mean by nuclear conflict?
Like atomic bomb, nuclear bomb, like that a country suddenly push the button and destroy another country like this because it's so easy. But the thing is that, can we talk about also atomic security into the security we saw today?
Yeah, of course, it's part of it. It's part of it. America just did that, and then to silence the powers that be. That time, Japan was becoming too powerful.
Yes.
In fact, Japan has actually taken over all the places.
Yeah.
Thailand here. In fact, Japan has actually taken over Thailand as well. If we go, by the way, next week, don't forget, on Saturday we have trip. What time is that?
We have a trip. Where are we going?
Are you tired? Where's the time?
Where's the Korean time? Where's the Korean trip?
I don't know.
So in all these places, you can see the train from Japan when they conquered almost everywhere. And there's nothing, the only thing that stopped them was American bomb.
I have a question.
Okay, so don't forget we are talking about international system, international relations in the context of security.
Okay. I have a question regarding the veto power given to the 5 most powerful countries at the time.
Yep.
Doesn't it surpass the reason why they were making an international system to make everybody equal?
To make everybody equal?
Equality was not the goal, but it was to stop each other from fighting, right? So why have only 5 and not everyone to become a veto member?
That is the problem. That is the question. That is the question most people ask.
Yeah.
Currently.
Because if they can stop Japan from releasing a nuclear bomb, then who's to stop the US from doing the same? Because they have a veto
because
power.
believe that US is in a safer hand. It's believed that if it's in the hand of the US, they're in a safer hand. But they're not sure of another hand, like Iran and so on and so forth.
I think that would have been the first example of capitalism after World War II.
Of course. Anyway, even the international system is not all that wonderful. IMF that borrows money sometimes it's not free.
Yeah, and take
It's okay. World Trade Organization, sometimes it's not also fair, because when they partitioned Africa in their Berlin conference, they knew what they were doing. That is one of the reasons for World War, because they found out it's no longer only European. Colonial masters are taking most Africans to fight the war. But they will go and they import people from Nigeria, for example, and dump them in Myanmar here. And then from Myanmar here, they now start shooting. When you hear this war, in my own view, it's not that their people were actually being killed, but the colonies were actually the ones doing the war, while their own people are kept. The mighty. And they were busy giving you name, Emmanuel and Patrick and Michael and Dixon and
Chelsea.
and Raymond and Chelsea. Busy giving you all this while taking the strong men in your place for the World War. You see that? In fact, I wonder if God really is. I wonder what He would think of us. The deception is so unbearable.
Yeah.
Yes, and they brought in the Bible for you to follow, and you go to heaven or you go to hell, because don't forget, in the Westphalian state, fighting about religions, so now cook all these stories. The Holy Spirit wrote this Bible immediately and sent it, and then pushed it to the slaves, black monkeys especially, where they will read it very well and abandon everything they had. Until today, I don't know whether we're still black monkey and we are turning white. Of course, in the Bible, suddenly the angel of light was a black. He was thrown down from heaven. As soon as he came, he reached down hellfire, he turned a black man. And so on and so forth. The stories that we are told. And we are believing it, and we are in it. And we are believing it, and we are still in it. So, let's move on. Traditional security. Traditional security. Wait, let's go. Traditional security. Traditional, don't deviate by class. This is we are not. I have to. You don't need to believe. You don't need to believe. You don't need to believe to know that the deception, he can decide to hold on to the deception and decide to say, oh, enough is enough. God is great, but not that one he's holding on to. Okay, let's move on. Because traditional security, military security, this is the area that most of us are holding. Military security focuses on protection of states' territorial integrity from external threats, such as armed attacks, invasions, and military conflicts. Are you there?
Yep.
States pursue military security by maintaining strong defense forces, forming alliances, example NATO. If you offend one, you offend all. And deterring potential adversaries through military preparedness or the use of force, if necessary. A key concept here is balance of power, where states ensure that no single state becomes powerful enough to dominate or threaten others in international system. Do you see their reason?
That balance of power, do you think is
Balance of power. Why can't it, when you are answering Emmanuel, which power do you... Bush, is he Emmanuel or sent? Hey, hold on. Bush, is he Emmanuel or sent? Trump, is he a sent name? So get it? I'm just trying to let you see, because if we hold on to these words, we don't look at the back where they actually balance the power. Because the mind, most developing countries, their kids are growing up in the Block Rosary Center. But the other balance of power, the power that be, their kids are scientific. While the kids of developing countries are waiting for heaven, waiting when they do good on earth, then Jesus will decide whether they will be on the right-hand side or in the left-hand side. And we're being occupied with these stories. Pious wise, smile. We're being occupied with these stories even till today. Even some of us that presume to have known, they are still holding on to it. Why? Because the destruction and distortion started from kindergarten. It's very difficult to leave it. Myself, I'm also part of it. But then these people with military security or whatever start their own from the kindergarten to just oppose and make sure their kids and children see things as realistic as it should be, and not that word of waiting to go to heaven or go to hellfire. The word is not our own, and the word, we are not people of this world. Therefore, do whatever you want to do. The people of this world are the people of this world. So traditional security concept simply means that's military standard. Like when I ask question, most of you are talking about military without looking at security from other dimension. Are you there? Yes, sir. Balance of power. NATO. Now they have Schengen visa. They have European Union. They decide, by the way, where did they get all these resources in Europe? Navit. Europeans, which resource did they have?
The resources of the United Nations?
Not the United Nations.
In general.
The resource, how do you make money? How do you make money? Where do you get, which human resource or natural resource that you have?
At this time it was colonization. They go to other.
Why are you so honest?
Because it was because many of these countries, there was a kingdom, like you said before.
Oh my God!
empires.
Why are you so honest? I didn't expect that.
But they go to colonize other countries to steal everything that they have. Like
my God!
And that's why it was like some depend of which country. Some empire, like the Roman Empire, they go to other country, but not to colonize, to supplement. It means that to inject the other culture in them.
The truth is not just about getting something from there, but putting something in that place.
Yes.
So that they get busy with irrelevant things, with one kind mindset that is very difficult to remove from, because it started from kindergarten. First of all, remove your language. First of all, remove your religion. First of all, remove your worldview. Thank God for Thailand. You are sitting comfortably. You see how Thailand just opposed all these people and make sure they remain Thai. That is the Thainess of the Thai people, which most of us are feeling comfortable, running away from the country that we read Bible from Genesis to Revelation, and we are here comfortable in a country that simply maintain their tradition. That is their secret. So it's not just that they went, as Navi just said, it's not that they colonized, but they put in system there that is different from the system we are talking about. And this system, till today, has bedeviled and then imprisoned you and I into viewing the world in that way. And I'm even talking, I answered Emmanuel. I still got my baby, my first son, I still named him Emmanuel. Can you imagine that?
Yeah,
the concept.
If I was not wrong, yes, it was a way to control a population and still also all the resources.
That's perfectly the thing. There's no two ways about psychological dismantle them and then tell them how they would think, tell them how they will reason, tell them how they will view the world. And whether you like it or not, we are viewing the world today because from childhood we are being told about this heaven and hellfire. And I wonder, in the Western world where priests can still preach today and mention hellfire as we are mentioning it in these developing countries. I bet you.
And there was also something that it was recurrent. It was like also an ego. They have a very big ego. So they believe that other country was minority. There was minor compared to them. Yeah.
Of course. So my dear pastors and pastoresses in this class, I'm not talking about your religion. I'm talking about reality and what it is. And in an academic setting. I'm not saying to go and throw your Bible. Keep on with that thing you think is a book for coming from heaven. Heaven wrote it and gave to you. Hold it. Just hold it, hold on to it. But in this particular class, I'm just telling you the reality, the way it started. Okay, so traditional concept of security is what I'm trying to tell you here. Is traditionally, when people talk about security, they remember military. Okay? Now, national security refers to protection of states' core interests, including its political stability, institutions, and economic well-being. In the context of international relations, national security includes both internal security, which is about protection against domestic instability like rebellion or terrorism, and external security, which means a defense against foreign aggression. National security is often seen as a primary goal for states, influencing foreign and defense policies. It involves protecting sensitive information from your cyber threats, such as hacking, data breaches, malware, and other malicious activities. Okay, the other first one was what? Traditional concept of security. Now is national security. We all know about this one. Very simple. Is it very difficult? This is your country's security. Are you aware of that? So we're almost in the types of security. Okay. Human security. You see this one? Hello? Human security. Are you there? Emmanuel Obi, are you still around? Okay. Human security. Human security expands the concept of security beyond just the state to focus on the safety and well-being of individuals. It addresses threats like poverty. You hear that? Are you there? Human security about poverty, about human rights abuses. This is where we have problem because what is right there is not right here. Then diseases. I think disease, there's also questionable things here because there are certain continents that certain disease cannot catch up with. I remember during the COVID, the prediction was Africans will all that the corpse will flood all the streets of Africa. I think predicted by Bill Gates.
I have a question.
Okay.
Going back to the previous slide.
Oh, this one.
Took the Myanmar as an example. The country, they established the military, the traditional security, so they have their own military to protect the country, right? That's the mission. To protect the threat of the to protect the from the dangers, to protect the nation. That's the concept, the ideal. But then why the Myanmar doesn't secure? There's still dangers because the actor of the dangers is the military. They're supposed to protect, but they are not. So what do you think about that problem?
Because it's their national security, they are thinking national security because they are thinking that there's going to be interference from the European countries. So that's why they are behaving in that way. And their people are against it because they brought in Aung San Suu Kyi, and Aung San Suu Kyi is moving against what they stood for. Because in their constitution, they put on certain things. You're talking about Myanmar, right?
Yeah, we are talking about
Myanmar and national security.
Yeah, national
yes,
security.
And you're saying that the military are punishing their people, right?
Yeah.
Because the military are protecting the country in their military mindset. They are protecting the country because the opposition are the people trying to bring Western influence, which will dismantle their national security. So in that military stand, they are using military to protect.
Military should stand with the state.
Can you give him?
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I think, in my point of view, the main issue with Myanmar is, first of all, they have a national security problem inside their country. So if the country cannot agree, then the military steps in to protect the country. That's what the professor is trying to say. The military are trying to protect. For example, we have in Thailand. If the same situation was to happen, you'd have different provinces in Thailand fighting against each other. Half of them want Western influence, the other half want to maintain Thai culture. So now they're fighting.
And the Rohingya,
Yes.
yeah. There is this
Like Mongolia.
Ken province and Rohingya, and they want to, they are trying to exert influence.
From West.
They call it rebellions. For the military in Myanmar, they call it rebellions. So they have to use that to...
Yeah, because if you see the function,
The military function is supposed to protect the people, right? But at the same time, the military function, first of all, is to defend the country against intruders outside.
Whether internal or external.
That is what they are meant for.
So that is the case of Myanmar and many other things there. Okay, so we were talking about human security before. This approach highlights non-military threats and has been promoted by organizations like the United Nations as a framework for tackling issues that undermine global peace and stability. A financial security represents an ownership position, a creditor relationship, or rights to ownership. So, human security. We have said this when we started this class. Any comment about human security? Hello, guys? Don't forget. Of course, they can juxtapose, they can intertwine. You can make it separately and you can still see it under human, just as we mentioned before. As human, if you don't have money to do certain things, it leads to something else. It leads to even threat of life.
I think in human security, the main part of it is to do with the human life and the human good life.
Exactly.
Human, yes. So anything that protects that.
But if you don't have money to buy good life, you cannot. you don't have money to buy good food, then you go and beg on the street, or you don't eat, you die off. So that is why they are all connected. Hello, guys. Are you there? Can you pause? Let me have 5 minutes break, please. Okay. Because I see that most of you need some. Tell us about environmental security. Who will say something about it? Professor, do you want? Oh, okay. What do you understand by environmental security?
This is security.
Remember, we have talked about military, traditional concept of security according to military stand. Then we talk about national. Is that correct?
Yeah.
After the national security, we talk about what again? Human security. So now environmental security. The reason is that you should understand all these. When you hear the word security, it does not necessarily mean only military. Okay.
In my view, environmental security, from what I've understood, is security or protections that have to do with the environment. For example, taking care of vital resources such as water, food, energy, also in the issue of climate change and how to protect the world or the greenery, the flora and the fauna in general. Yes.
Wonderful. Any other person? Can you... Professor Dari, the professor in Creek University.
It's about protecting environmental, natural, oh my God. The thing disappeared now.
Climate change.
No, not climate change.
National or natural resources.
Natural. This disappear.
Natural
environment and human interests.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that is environmental security. Yeah. Securing where we are, because not securing it is also a threat. Do you just understand the logic? If we don't secure this classroom, maybe there is a disease somewhere, and you just come and sit in this classroom, you now try to contract the disease, right? And then you got killed. Maybe you killed yourself. So environment is very, very important. This is a cup I want to drink water with. You have to wash it. You have to be sure that it's neat enough for you to use it for. this thing you are eating now, who made the donut? Ngozi. Imagine if he put poison there. Because you don't know what he used to bake the food for. I check Nigerian Facebook for women that cook. I don't know, you must have heard that stories of some of them where they get the water they used to cook so that they will get more customers. I see it social media. So who knows what Mr. Emmanuel put in this but even in our tradition, some people say you cook certain things. There are things you cook that the person will fall in love with you. You get the. Do you think it works?
It works.
Yeah. Does it work?
It works very well, effectively.
Really? Even pastor believes in that.
No, it works. It works, Prof.
Do you have a mic? Can you tell us why you think so?
It works.
Prof. Do you have any evidence? How can you put something for me to eat and then I start falling in love with the person?
Prof, it's possible.
Is it? How?
You know, elaborate. Prof, we can never overemphasize spiritual concussion. Prof, don't play.
Then tell us why.
Really, you know, this thing, there's no way I can explain it unless you have witnessed it. Understand? If you're into ministry, you encounter something like that, when you say it, they'll think maybe you're exaggerating. It happens. Even you forget your memory. You forget, you won't know where you are. Really, spiritual things exist, forget. It exists. The same way you can shoot somebody.
Prof, why are you allocating yourself as a carnal man and then he's a sent from heaven?
So you should tell us.
The same way you can shoot somebody, it does not affect him.
You can shoot somebody, it doesn't affect him.
Yes.
Is it because of spiritual protection or what?
Spiritual protection, yes.
From where?
Exists.
From juju or from God or from Jesus? Or...
Juju exists.
Juju works for you.
But why can Jesus protect somebody from something like
Jesus protects.
So Jesus can make you, if you see a gun, they shoot gun at you, then you cannot die.
Prof, no, this is not about shooting something. It depends. One thing is that Jesus protects, but if you are testing it, you're on your own.
How do you know? Jesus told you.
Prof, I'm talking based on experience.
I'm
telling you that this thing, I cannot. For that, I'm telling you that this thing.
Actually, the bullet is talking about God protects. I agree with him.
God protects what?
I'm coming, sir. Let me land, please, before you interrupt me.
Are you in the air?
God protects. Reason being that now he will, if something is about to happen to you at this point, right? He will not redirect you.
God told you.
How do you know that?
When did you discuss? When did you discuss with God?
Spiritual things are too deep. They are too deep.
When did you discuss with God?
Yes, I am.
When did you discuss with God?
How do you know? How do you know that? You don't need to discuss. You can see it. Can you tell me the criteria of yours? The criteria.
No diversion. It's all about environmental security. There's no diversion. Please, may we hear?
It can be that your instinct tells you something to do.
It can be an instinct. It can be your spirit. You understand? So we talking about
I thought it might even be stress that is even affecting you. You're thinking that you are dreaming.
Myself, in my own view, I believe in human protection. What do I mean by this? Provision of security for myself. Me being self-consciousness. Yes, that is what I don't believe that God will give me the protection. God has
then,
already
then
blessed
if
now.
this thing you say
No,
this,
now.
if you are right,
In my
then why
own
our
belief- in my own
pastors
belief
using
system,
security men? If God is
you give,
really,
the highest
if
protection
God
you
is
get
truly
is the
protecting them, why are they moving up and down with security men?
Hold on. If you listen to listen, some men have gone with if you are sick, they will tell you to go and meet your doctor first. Right? Meet your doctor while he
You say some of the pastors.
yeah, some pastors.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll tell you to go and meet your doctors first. Let the doctors check you while him, as a man of God, prays for you to intercede on your behalf.
Who made him man of God?
Please give me the mic, please.
One by one now. One. We have the mic. Mike is there. Yes, let's have it. Now.
One thing we say on
Interaction.
this kind thing, they sweet prof, because prof is just people that they come back based on their experience in the wrong sect of religion.
No.
Wait now, wait. Wait now. I'm talking to your boss. No, look here. Wait, look here. Look here. When I talk about the wrong sect of religion, Prof, that's what I'm talking about. Because we want to start the foundation of where he was coming from, you'll be shocked. Most of us, we don't read. That's why we just follow. My father joined this one, I joined them. Because black man, we don't read, we don't study at all. Look here, the same way we believe in witch doctor. All right, the difference between herbalist and witch doctor. Yes, herbalists are traditional native, like medical doctor. Understand? So witch doctor are people that engage in shams. So witch doctor is juju. So herbalists are into herbal medicine or something to treat infirmities. Understand? So the same way you believe it works. One thing is that in Christianity, like me, if I'm a pastor and you have a sickness, I'll tell you go to the hospital. And if you have tried everything, no option,
Then
we can take it up spiritually. Really. Not that I will now downsize the wisdom of the doctor. I don't do that.
That is you now.
That is me.
you.
But you telling me that this thing, me, I have seen the hand of God in my life. You might not have seen maybe the way you live your life.
Now, where
I
I disagree with you.
Not
Now,
where you live your life.
now where
Where
I
is it?
disagree with you, in quote, where I disagree with you that you say God gives protection.
Yes.
God gives protection. Now I ask you this question. In Thailand,
Wait, okay. This now be. Do you believe in God? Yes or no?
I believe in being forbidden.
No, yes or no? Do you believe in
I
God?
believe in being.
Security and
Wait.
This man is confused.
My guys,
You are confused.
what do you think? What you are holding as touch God's life touching you, I'm afraid, may be normal logical occurrences of life, whether God is there or not.
normal occurrences of life.
How would I prove to you? You have already made up your mind, so there's no.
You have made up your mind.
Okay. Economic security. So, economic security, who can say something about it? Or is it God will bring economy?
No, let's start from the.
It's only in Africa that God have meant economy.
Well, according to me, I understood economic security being protections of global markets,
These people really do it in
natural
Africa.
resources, and financial crisis and
The
sanctions.
healing can never be.
For example,
Sorry.
for example, I will use the current, if I'm not wrong, the current ongoing issue of crisis of Rwanda and Belgium. So Belgium threatened the Rwandese economic security, and in return, Rwanda expelled them out of the country. Yes. Rwanda. Yeah, because Belgium supported Congo. So Rwanda felt that Belgium should have supported them because they are the former colony of Belgium. So Belgium took action and threatened Rwanda's economic security by sanctioning them and taking the people Rwandese in their country who have
And
property.
God didn't save them.
Yeah, so because of that, Kagame.
Just like God is not saving Nigeria currently.
Yeah, so that
Even
is an
after
economic
all the
security
political-
crisis.
Even
that
all
has led
the
to-
prophecies from powerful men of God.
Yeah. So I think in that
Because every election, powerful men of God in Nigeria will always tell us one thing or the other.
so I think
oh.
I think because of the threat of the economic security, it has now led to something bigger than it was already than what it was initially.
This God only in Africa.
You raise your case.
So, economic security in international relations concern protection of states' economic interests. Interest here, not God, such as it access to global markets, control over natural resources. Because we were there praying on God, while some Western elements are there mining our gold and our natural resources and using it to better the life of their people, while we were busy reading the Bible.
Which means we lack security in our economy.
We have even spiritual security we don't have. This one just, we're just debating. Even spiritual security, zero from my own point of view. So this includes addressing issues like trade disruptions, financial crisis, and sanctions that may threaten a state's economic stability or growth. Isn't that unreasonable or something weird that we left a country that's supposed to presumably to be God's country, and we are in a country that don't believe in God, living comfortably, and we're still talking. And we're still talking.
Bro, when it comes to economy.
No.
Prof. No, Prof.
Wait, hold it.
When it comes to economy,
economy, because the economy of most African countries are mostly centered on God.
Prof, do you have evidence?
Huh?
Do you have evidence?
What are you talking
Wait
now?
I
We are praying for Nigeria in distress.
Bob, do you have?
And we're not praying to know how to
do you have
better
evidence?
our economy. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Let's hold on. Okay.
Prof, don't run. You cannot grow economy with prayer. So let us. This I say.
But now tell them now, because you seem to have a different view from what they are doing.
Now I want to talk about you comparing to.
Then even the pastors that are having jets, why should that be jet be there? Is it not a part of the problem, security, economic security?
I'm not supporting that.
Okay,
But
that is the problem we are having.
You generalizing
Maybe
it
you
like you are
exception.
putting me aside.
Okay, your exception, but we are
blessed
trouble.
in Jesus' name.
Yes.
Amen.
Yeah, so the problem now is that you being inclusive in what you say.
Yes,
Is that your problem?
Personal security.
Personal security.
Look at.
Because when you try to
In
defend
a
it,
country that
You picture
all the
yourself as a
pastors are the
pastor and you are together with them.
But the people
when
are
you
suffering.
stand to defend them because the
They buy
ideology they
private
impact
jets.
on people is what we're battling with. The struggle we are today is as a result of the
Collective
ideology
security
they
refers to
impacted.
systems in which states work together to enhance the security of all members by agreeing that an attack on one is an attack on all. Collective security. Attack on one is attack on all. All of us here in this class of theory of conflict, peace, and security. An attack on one student is an attack to all the other students. That is collective security. Let's say all African students here, attack on me, who is an African representing you, is attack on you. That is if you all agree that is what they call collective security. So we now protect ourselves. I protect you from your weaknesses. You protect me from my weakness. It doesn't mean that I'm not weak. It doesn't mean that you are, but we all agree to hold one another like this. That is an attack on one, is an attack on other. That is what they call collective security. The main example here is the concept is exemplified by international organizations like United Nations, and then or regional security alliance like NATO, ASEAN, EU, AU, ECOWAS. I don't even know whether ECOWAS is working.
I disagree with the part where it
Can you repeat with the mic?
Sorry, yes. I said I disagree with the part where it says an example is United Nations, because I don't think an attack on one country in the United Nations means an attack on all the 190 something countries.
Yes, but it all depends. But it's also a guiding principle they use to deceive us anyway. But the point is that United Nations have actually done a lot.
Because I think collective security will come into play in terms of regional organizations like East African Community,
But systematically,
AU.
United Nations is also putting it in place too, because sometimes, even though you might see some places, just like Russia and Ukraine is at war, but don't forget it has not escalated to the point of world war. So some people are supporting Russia, like China, North Korea, while some Iran, while some other people are supporting Ukraine. So whether you like it or not, that United Nations is still battling with it today. But let us not forget that the fact that it's not perfect does not mean that it has not been helpful.
Okay.
On that note, it might be used depending, say, selective, hold it, exemplified by international organizations like, we are talking about collective security. Don't also limit that security to only that war. Food security is also part of collective security by putting the prices or tag. In Nigeria, call it NAFTAC. In Thailand, you call it something else. Then if you want to travel for airplane, they have safety, whatever, for airline, how to land or whatever. So that is actually another direction. So when we use the word collective security, it doesn't necessarily got limited with only military aspect, even the food. Like when I went to, for example, when I went to Spain, I don't know what to eat at all. The only thing I found is McDonald's. Yeah, then I went there, McDonald's, and I found out almost the same thing with McDonald's in Thailand. So food security. So when, imagine if McDonald's, they put something that will poison people. Then, but they have gone through this kind of collective food security. Do you get that? Are you guys getting it?
Yeah.
So the word of security, as we keep saying, does not necessarily limit to military. So on that note, you now give United Nations top hand for that aspect. And also the regional NATO, if you mention NATO, of course, you think military security and also other part of security. They are there. Hello?
Hello.
If you go to Schengen right now, see how they connected their every place.
With the train
You move with the train system, oh my God. You move from one country to another, just like MRT
Yes.
and BTS in Thailand. You just move like that. Sometimes some of them are even on the water. And then from there you come out. And some on the normal, jumping from one country to another. And they're so connected. So, transportation security. Okay, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So we are done. Now, security dilemma. Who knows what is security dilemma? Okay, Chelsea, you seem to be the next. You are getting some points here.
Well, I understood security dilemma in an arms race point of view, in the sense that if my country wants to make our military stronger, then Uganda might feel some type of way and decide to also do the same, therefore creating tensions in between the two countries. That is the security dilemma. In the case of China and North Korea, if China hears that North Korea has a new atomic bomb, they also want to have it. And when they do have it, North Korea does something else and they also want to have it. Also in the case of...
But China and North Korea are friends. They are allies.
They are friends, but they also are in the same race to fight against...
Because since they are allies, the example of security dilemma shouldn't be them.
But it can be them against USA.
Security dilemma. Let's say Pakistan and India.
Yes.
India got a nuclear mass, what do you call it, weapon. Then Pakistan will get it at least, even if it's too small.
In the case of
then Palestinian, Iran was trying to reach. Israel said no, because Israel believed that they will use it against them. So that is the dilemma. The dilemma is that you are there looking at your enemy. Building something that you know, once they have it, they will use it against you. So you know you are in a dilemma. Do I strike them first, so that we start fighting instead of waiting for them to build it and use it to destroy me. Deterrent.
It's a good thing because nobody gonna hit on each other because they're all scared that everyone have a nuclear bomb.
That's the dilemma.
And so everybody is talking but no acting because they never know which country have.
They do act. That's why we are in trouble. Even the issue of Israel and Palestine is connected to that. Even the idea of Iran and the detention in the Middle East is all about that.
We have the
then
country
even
that
the North Korea and South Korea is all about that. In fact, the dilemma means, look at it the way he put it here. It occurs when one state's efforts to increase its own security inadvertently threaten the security of other states, which in turn feel compelled to respond with similar measures, potentially leading to an arms race or conflict.
And on this also, you have also many countries that they don't know if they have nuclear power or no. And because some countries
it's not something you will know. Nuclear power
it's not certain. It's not, but some they develop already.
If you develop, it's known.
Yeah,
that is why each country prognosis into another country.
Yes, they
a spy. Somebody must be a spy there. These people, they pay a lot of money for spies. It's not possible.
Sometimes, like for example, now it was what I read a question about some articles talk about if Japan have the nuclear power, nuclear bomb also, because there's so many transfer from boats from China to Japan. Nobody know what is containing inside. So some people, they say that they arm up to nuclear power
if
also.
Japan has gotten it before, Japan has been very powerful. But Japan cannot, they signed a contract, they will never produce that without the permission of
but like you said, there is the dilemma that they have to respect.
The dilemma, China is having the dilemma. That's why whenever you see Japan and Americans and other countries, especially America, connecting, China will not be feeling comfortable. If you see Japan, America and each other called Taiwan, China will feel comfortable. So that's the dilemma. They will be prognosing all the time. Hey, so America, why are they moving like that? They put on searchlight everywhere to know when they move or when. So that is why it is security dilemma. When one country builds up security for itself in such a way that the other country will feel that they are not feel threatened, that is the dilemma. Do we going to strike? Are we going to strike, or do we keep quiet? Most likely they would like to strike. There's no need waiting, because you think that, for example, Iran was even the one that said that they will wipe Israel away from the face of the earth. Even that statement itself is horrible. So allowing them to build up this uranium or whatever, that is the danger. Because they are building it, they made it known that they are doing it for purpose of wiping out Israel out of the map. You see that? Now, cybersecurity. Who can tell me about this one? Cybersecurity. Professor, you are a student of mass communication. You have anything about cybersecurity? You can add something.
Nice that.
Yahoo.
This deals with information and personal information.
Yahoo. With the rise of internet and digital technology, cyber security has become an important aspect of international security. Remember TikTok and America? Cyber security. America wouldn't like to. They are still prognosing what is going on. Cyber security. Cyber security involves the protection of nations' critical infrastructure, information systems, and data from cyber attacks, hacking, espionage, or sabotage. In international relations, states now focus on securing their digital domains, as cyber threats can destabilize economies, interfere with military operations, and undermine public trust. Do you believe in that?
Yes.
Cyber security. But if you believe in that, why is it that most of us take social media for granted?
How?
Information in social media, sometimes we post things that are not supposed to post. There are things about private, especially some of us from developing countries, mostly Nigeria, because of content creators. You are selling information that belongs to someone else. Very little thing that will happen in your your town or your state. You put it, or you catch people stealing, you put it on the Facebook where you're interviewing them because you caught them stealing. Why should we do that?
Sorry, regarding the TikTok and America, could we say because of the fierce relationship between China and America, because TikTok is from China?
Yeah, of course, that's what they're saying. They said China is not responsible, not accountable.
Exactly.
Therefore, their intention is to prognose and know many Americans' information, including their bankers. That's what they said. I read their news all the time. That's because of that. They want to be sure.
United Nations, but everybody's fighting for their own personal interest.
Of course. Of course. Because they feel that they are sure of that.
That's what to do.
Don't forget that America, but don't imagine it. Even myself, I believe in America more than these other people, because these other people, their story is questionable for me.
Yeah.
If you ask me who to pick, I would prefer to choose America with my, because they are exactly, they have standards in place. That is why, imagine their president, they sue their president and was dealing with the man from one court to another. Immediately after impeached in first and second. Just tell you how the system is worked. But if you compare to other countries that one party system, and just like communism, no, you can't trust that kind of a system, because there's no check and balances. No opposition can be killed at any time. So that is what we'll be looking to. Because if America is holding your security, there are check and balances, how to release it, how not to release it. But if you go to military states or whatever, no, the military can decide to do whatever. You see that? Okay, religious security. Oh, sorry.
Wow. Out of the abundance.
Of course, there's also religious security now. But this is regional. We're talking about regional security here. Just like ASEAN, just like EU, just like African Union. Do we really have African Union, for goodness sake? Does it work? Hey, fellow Africans, do we have African Union, and does it work at all?
Excuse you?
Can somebody comment, please? Do we really have African Union? Does it really work at all? They changed from OAU to AU. Works for who?
Okay. Recently, we had the AU elections, right? My country was vying. So was Djibouti, but Djibouti won. Okay. I think it's a system that has been put in place, first of all, because we need to have it, because I don't think it works. Africa is one of the most divided continents. Every country has its own ideology of how to do things. So if that is the case, how then can we say we have one body that works for every country and manages every country with its interests? I don't think it works. I think it's a body that is there just because we have EU, we have AU, we have ASEAN, we have the one in North America.
So we need to have it.
So we need to have it.
The toothless bulldog.
That's it. Because
if it not back or back.
Because if it worked, we would have had free trade among African countries. We would have had free travel. Traveling within Africa is the most expensive. You would rather go to France than come to Nigeria, than come from Kenya directly to Nigeria. That's how expensive it is.
Wow.
So I don't think it works.
Pastor, can God pray for this one? A human being will arrange it. What makes it work?
How does it work?
Let's hear you. How does it work?
African Union.
Yeah, that is how it works. The Western influence makes it work. Actually, in my own view, why they established this body is for external influence, for them to use it to control the affairs of what happened in our country. So it works for them that set up that body.
Wait, it doesn't work because you'll be working for Africans.
It works for them that set up the body. They know their reason.
No, we are busy
so
praying.
It works in
I think
line with
in
why
African
they set
Union,
up
we
the
are
body.
busy praying. We are busy praying, waiting for heaven and hellfire. Okay, global security is a broader concept that includes security of international system as a whole. This includes addressing global challenges like terrorism, nuclear proliferation, pandemics, climate change, which transcend national borders and require international cooperation to manage. Global security recognizes that there are interconnected and solutions must often involve multilateral efforts, agreements, and institutions like the United Nations or World Trade Organization. So global security. How do we say that global security works? Does it work? Global security.
Just like EU.
Global security. I think the global security it works.
Can you say with the mic? Okay, sorry.
No, let that
Global security works so long as they bring you a Bible to read.
Okay, I think using the case of COVID-19, I think it's the perfect way to see how global security, I'm not saying it worked 100%. However, it did work to an extent to prevent further deaths.
To prevent what?
Further deaths.
Death. What makes you think that vaccine
Because,
was working?
take for example...
Wait, what makes you that vaccine you took that worked?
But did people stop dying after they took it?
How do you know?
No. Did it go down after the vaccine was rolled out?
How do you know that it was the result of the vaccine? Many people took it and died.
It was not 100%. That is true. So, are you guys saying that without the vaccine, COVID would have continued?
I believe the vaccine is useless.
Then why did it stop? Then why did COVID stop?
No, it's like something that moves and then maybe something.
Just like a commission.
Yeah.
No, I think we need to stop being naive also. Come on. No.
Like a commission, it smells around that.
That is what Africans thought, and it worked for us.
But you know, it's a human made, right?
Yes, it is human made. Yeah.
And then what was the purpose it was made for?
To kill Africans.
No.
Allegedly.
I don't agree with that.
Yes.
This P5 that.
Hold on for the mic.
Okay.
What is the record?
In terms of security, what do you think that they did that made the whole thing just to disappear? Yeah. The P5 here. Yeah. Yeah.
Cloud seeding. So it rains and then all of a sudden it's clear. And then they will burn the crops again in Chiang Mai and then it comes back. Then repeat again. Do you think any African
Wait. Pardon. What did you just say now?
Ask me why do I think
Are we getting your voice?
Oh, please.
So that we hear clearly what you're saying.
Okay. He has asked why is it that the 2.5 PM 2.5 disappears?
Yeah.
I've told you Thailand has a system of cloud seeding in the same case as Dubai. Cloud seeding, yes. They form clouds with chemicals up in the sky, then it will rain to reduce the pollution levels, right? Now, this PM 2.5 comes every January, February, thereabout, because of the harvest that has taken place in the north and the winds that are coming from China. So they ban the harvest, the things, I don't know how they call them in English. I only know them in Swahili, sorry. But the leftovers from the harvest. Not seeds.
No, say it in Swahili. Let's.
Mafefe. So the chaff. Oh yes, they ban such things, the leftovers from the harvest, right? The smoke goes up. The industries in Thailand already release a lot of smoke into the air. Then you have the monsoon winds that are coming from China. They spread it over. Then now you have PM 2.5. Then they will do the cloud seeding every year. It rains, it disappears.
Now, I want to ask you.
Cloud seeding, yeah.
Can we hear what he's asking?
Now, in your own
In your own understanding, do you think if Thailand decides to shift this pollution to another countries, neighboring country, do you think it's possible for them to do that?
I don't think it's possible because it's dependent on the wind. That's why it moves around the country. So So if the wind comes stronger and
Yeah.
moves it down further to Singapore and Malaysia,
Yeah.
then it moves because of the wind.
But there is a possibility of this pollution to go to another.
Yes, because of the
Now, I want to let you know something, that the COVID, the pandemic we see today, there are people who engineered it and they know the solution. And allegedly, my brother. And
bringing your subconscious mind that this is going on air.
It's irrelevant.
You understand that? So there are people who engineered this. They did everything, and at some point, because they know the solution, they are the one that engineered it. It's just a politics. They know the solution. Then they go to that solution, solve it. So the vaccine we see now is just a mere something that they use to confuse people to believe that this indeed is just a disease that broke out. But allegedly, in the other way around, they knew what they did. This is just it's just a power tussle. Who will, because first, before you can be able to control a particular territory, you must have a total control over it. Is either you dismantle their military might or economic stability. There is an option that you have to take that will make you to take a total control of that country. Now, what they did is this just a power tussle. Who will control the universe with what they have? Now, this, in my own thinking, this went to an extent they didn't even expect.
Okay, can you listen to your question directly so that we get the logic?
So you are disproving the idea of that vaccines worked, right? So my question is, what stopped COVID, in your opinion? Because you've said they know what they did and they have a solution. So what do you think was the solution that they had that stopped COVID altogether?
I'm not one of the key players in this, but in my view, the way they did it is the same way they stopped it. Because this is not the vaccine that stopped it. We know.
Let's
If you
move
go
on.
to
Let's
different
move on.
African countries that brought out a figures, allegedly, that brought out a figures, we find out there is a lapses on the figures. You understand? So it's not even the vaccine. Myself, I was tested. You understand? And I'm not even affected. But I went under that process.
Okay, thank you very much. That is wonderful.
That is not the vaccine that cured it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Allegedly.
I don't know why you guys are using allegedly here, irrelevantly. Okay, international law and norms. Is someone talking? Okay. International norms and laws. International law include treaties, conventions, agreements, plays a vital role in maintaining global security. Why? These laws are designed to prevent conflicts, regulate the use of force, and promote peaceful resolutions to disputes. Institutions like United Nations and the International Court of Justice help ensure that countries abide by these norms. I don't think America abides by them. So international law and norms, they are there as a vital element for global security. But then what do you think? When America doesn't abide by them, do you have any comment? Do you have anything? Almighty America.
Big five.
Why they don't abide? Why do they disobey? And why nothing happens? Any comment?
So in my opinion, I think the reason America sometimes seems to disobey or flout international conventions or agreements is because they're like the main financiers of the organization, like United Nations. Like America contributes more. Yeah, not just United Nations, most international organizations, America, like they have like they're the major financiers. You get, so they get to use that economic power to like favor in their own favor. Like they tend to use it to manipulate. Like I don't want to use the word manipulation, but I think for one lack of words, I'll use it manipulation just to manipulate the agreements and the treaty. So the financial capacity is the major reason. Yeah, most times they flaunt international treaties and agreements.
I agree with Michael, and I also think that America also has a superiority complex. They feel that they're so superior to every other country that the laws should not affect them in the same way they will affect Jamaica or Haiti. They feel like they're not on the same level with such countries. Therefore, the laws that are supposed to be for the entire world, they cannot be grouped together with the entire world. Yes. Yeah, it should be the exception, because one, they feel that they are superior than others. Two, they feel they have more money than other countries. Three, the entire world uses the dollar as a national reserve. So there we go.
Wow. Emmanuel, you have anything?
Political and
I think in international law is mainly established for some people, not for some people, in my own view.
Mm-hmm.
Though it looks like every country is being fusioned in that unit.
The mightier is right.
You understand? So the game of what they play here is the game of who have it most. Are you able to control the affairs of other countries?
Then do you know, but then I just want us, when we reason in a very vague way, I want us, because most of us are from developing countries, to go deep into, when you use the word control, I'm aware that you are looking at this international law and norms. What are the things that made them to control you in the first instance?
Okay.
You are from Africa.
Yeah.
You're from that continent. Of course, all these laws are made by them. The question is, do you know why they get you controlled in their own world, in their own philosophy of life, leading to this kind of system of international law and norms? Do you know why? I mean, what do you think that made them control you as an African?
As in this case, because colonialism just made it happen first.
Then what are the tools of colonialism that made it possible, that watered the ground for this kind of mindset of control?
Because first, in that colonization, in the era of the colonization, they dismantle our sense of reasoning.
Like how? What do you mean?
Now, first, we have civilization. Because in colonization, before you can take total control of any environment, you must dismantle their mentality so that they will see you as God. In African settings, we have seen these people as the God we are seeing today, because they first brought to us what we have never seen. The materials they came with, they made us to understand many things.
Why are we so vulnerable to dance into that their package?
Because of ignorance.
So we are ignorant?
Yeah, we are ignorant of what they are just like. It's not only greed, because our mind is not
let me
there when they
let me add part of it.
Yeah.
Remember that when you don't have a language, the language you use now in Africa is Western language.
Yeah.
Ipso facto, the constitution you and I are using now are their constitution.
Yeah.
I just want you to reason that light. So when we now come up from this kind of setting with the constitution they brought into you, which is their own world view, imposing it on these particular people, I want us to also link it to this kind of international law and norms, creating situations that dismantle and disfigure a particular continent.
Yes.
And we're keying into that. Even things that are abominable, the abomination in our system, are no longer abomination gradually nowadays. where everything is being watered down. Let's take, for instance, as I said yesterday, during my own generation, you know, there is a reason why ladies should not wear trousers. And there is a reason why a lady is for the family and not to come out to contest political stuff or whatever. Not because it's negative reason. Mostly they are all positive reason, because women are seen as sacred. Women are seen as the real reason like the family is moving. So moving out means a distraction to the family. But men are seen as the one going to get something. But with all this feminism or whatever, the system is dismantled. It's part of it that now created as international law and norms. Because sometimes the problem we have, most of us in developing countries, we accept things that we hate, and we still stay there comfortably, hating what we think we hate. Are you getting the point? In this term, they also use the word international law and norms. What do you mean by international law? You and I know very well that in our system is a taboo, is not acceptable that a man should be married to a man and a woman should marry a woman. It's a taboo in our system. But now, these people start bringing all these ideas in a very subtle manner, because they have already made you and I to be weak, made you and I to be poor. So now, if one of us is now having that kind of feeling, either a man and a woman, or the one that is called lesbian or the gay, they can easily get visa freely to somewhere, running away from a system because they think they will be killed. Many of your brothers and my brothers and sisters are seeking asylum in this kind of situation, and they even go to the visa will easily be given to them. And they still have a better life and come back to build that thing that you that are holding this is not building. By that, the system of your forefathers were dismantled. Even in a lighter way in terms of religion, majority of our sons were meant a priest, bishops. They were trained with scholarship and they had got the best training. And they came back again they became that colonial masters, no longer with the white body, but now in the black body. When you combine all these things, we shouldn't come to the classroom and analyze international law and norms. Ask yourself, what do they mean by norms? Because that is where dismantling situation came from. International law, you say, including treaties. What do they mean by treaties? Treaties of obeying this, obeying that, whether you like it or not. Are you guys following what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then what do they mean by conventions? Having seminars here and there. Conventions for what? To be selling all these Western ideas to you and I. Then agreements. What do they mean by agreement? Maybe they put me as the president of Nigeria with a certain agreement that you don't even know that I must uphold. Are you there? Because if you look at all these, you think it's very light. It's not. This is where you are being dismantled, in my own view. They say play a vital role. You say plays a vital role in maintaining global security. So global security in Saudi Arabia is not actually global security in the Western Europe. But the point, because Saudi Arabia was smart enough to hold on to what they are holding. I mean Muslim countries like Saudi Arabia, like Dubai. If you go to Dubai, you see how their country is, like heaven, you see on earth. Because they were smart enough. Why? Why are they not Christians like you and I? Why are they not carrying Bible and experiencing Jesus? But you and I were doing so very fast to defend that. And yet we are people that behave like something is somewhere missing in our life. We keep jumping from one country to another, being treated like brute animals, not respected, because we rejected what God gave us, that is us. Let me use the word God. And then embracing other people's own, at the same time thinking that we can embrace some and leave some. Look at our children are being exposed with phone, and they commit all sorts of things, learn all sorts of vices from there. So, why I'm saying this, for us not to disconnect this international law and norms. Ask yourself, what do they mean by norms? Hello?
Hello?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Imangos, are you in this class? Sure. So, peace and conflict studies, we all know this. In the realm of international relations, security also involves efforts to prevent and resolve conflicts between states and promote sustainable peace. It includes diplomacy, conflict resolution, peacekeeping, post-conflict restructuring. International organizations such as UN often play a role in peacekeeping options and in supporting the creation of post-conflict institutions to prevent future violence. This one, we know it already. Peacekeeping. Any comment before we go home? Peacekeeping. No comment. Remember, we have not summarized the class. Okay, now I conclude the class. Are you there? In international relations, security is not just about military strength. You get that? Or territorial defense, but also about economic stability, human rights protection, environmental sustainability, and the peaceful resolution of conflicts. States, international organizations, such as non-state actors work together to address these diverse security challenges in a complex global system. In the context of international relations, security is often framed as the effort to maintain a balance of power, prevent conflicts, and promote stability in the global system. It involves a mix of deterrence, preventing threats from military readiness or diplomatic means, cooperation, working with other states or international bodies to ensure collective peace, and diplomacy, negotiating peaceful solutions to disputes and tensions. Hello? Hello? Okay, so we are done for today. So we can now summarize the class by telling us what you are going home with.
Should I start from here?
Huh? What are you going home with?
I'm going home. I'm going home with that security is not all about military strength or only about territorial protection, but human rights protection, economic stability, and as well environmental sustainability. Thank you.
Wonderful. Sheikha, what are you going home with? You guys can decide whether we are going to close or not. If you start your story, then we'll be here. So what are you going home with?
Yeah, I'm going home to know that security deals with so many things. You don't only look at security with the eye of fight between two countries or military might or any other thing, but you can also have a personal security. Maybe you can get that from food or even from sleep at times when you lose air. So I think that's what I'm going home with.
Okay, so security, the concept of security is so vast that generally is same. From my own point of view, I can say that to live is to face threat. Then it also behoves on us to do the little from our individual angles to ensure that we do the little we can do to contribute to security, like in our environment, like in our own personal life. Before we call for the general security, what do we do for ourselves to protect or to give security to our individual self, to ensure security of our own environment, and even our health, before we talk about what the government will do for us by way of health security generally. How do we protect our own health? By virtue of the things we eat, drink, the things we do. So I get to understand here that the concept of security goes from personal, then to the collective, and then global. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Professor, do you have anything to tell us about summary?
Jumping Raymond.
Sorry.
Any summary of the today, what you are telling the world we are going home with?
We've learned about different types of securities, both national to national level and
I
also.
didn't learn about the religious security.
I'm still postulating now.
Okay.
We've discussed about securities in all levels, and we talk about different perspectives about religion. And even though we are being biased about a certain religion,
who is being biased?
So that is what I've learned so far.
We are not being biased. We're just stating things as they are.
Yeah, what I
student of
learned.
history. Okay.
No, it's a collective now.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. No, you know that. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, man, the point that we are stating the obvious here in this class.
Obvious, but without fact.
Okay. Okay. The fact is the way we are living.
Bro.
Running away from our country to come to a place that doesn't believe in God, and we're still talking about God there. It's no fact. Okay, let's not start argument again. Everyone goes.
Okay. On this security issue, my take home today is that all this theory of all this.
You're not reading books because we have never been in absent. You are absent-minded in this class.
Security is everyone's business, and having known all the security operatives here.
Having known what?
All the security operatives.
What? Well, why did we talk about security operative? You see, absent-minded. I noticed that you have not been in this class. I beg. David, let's start with David.
Thank you.
Because you can't cheat nature, you can't cheat yourself. You have not been following this class. Okay.
So about security, right? What I learned.
What
today.
you are going home with, just summary.
I'm going home with. I learned about international security. I learned about security in many categories, like for example, cyber security, also finance security, health security. This one I get it also, and other kind of security. So I learned about how security impact societies and impact influence on people, and also the way that they learn, experience, and live. For example, like cyber security, who can destroy the life of someone in just 1 second and 1 click. If someone's, for example, stole in your bank account because you clicked the wrong link or something like this. So yes, and also international security about how conflicts are handled by other countries to avoid a financial or also territorial problem, or like a war or new conflicts in the future. Yeah.
Okay. Pius, summary.
Well, what I'm going home with is security is very vital.
I'm not hearing you. Can you just summarize? Let's move. We don't want to waste time. Yeah. Say.
Security is very important, and look at international security in international relations, security between countries. Everyone safeguards what is important, and not just for its own, but for generally for everyone.
Wonderful.
And it is important to look after each other's security, not just being selfish to yourself.
If you're not selfish, how can you not protect yourself?
Well, you protect yourself, but you also, it is incumbent of you to also
Because
protect
to some extent, security is all about self-pain, self-help.
Self-help. Well, when two is better than one, and when it's a joint effort, then
Okay, so you're talking about collective security. Okay,
collective
thank you very much.
security, yeah.
Edu?
Learning about security teaches us how to detect, prevent, and response to ensure security in all aspects of life. Like our governors usually, one of our governors usually say that security is everybody's business. When you see something, you say something.
And you think that itself is not a threat? So you see something, you say something. When people want somebody to destroy, you will see a reason to see something and say something. See something, say something. Easier said than done. In a system that doesn't have any common norms and guidelines, say something. Say, okay, Mike, quick,
Yeah.
summary.
Okay, so what I'll be taking home from this class is that I am responsible for my own security, and I should take my security seriously, especially in terms of in this era that we are right now, where the world is so globalized and that we have internet, something like internet. It's something that most times we don't really pay attention to, but cybersecurity is a very serious issue that if we are careless and we lose our guard, we'll live to regret it. So I take my cybersecurity seriously. I protect myself very seriously when I'm on the internet or something like that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm taking home, or rather, I learned the difference between international systems and international relations.
Wonderful.
And then I've also learned the different forms of security that we have in international relations, and not just the military aspect of it, and how moving forward in our different careers, we can use these types of securities to bring about peace in where we come from. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay. So we are done with today's class, and I do hope that next week you will prepare this for the test, and then we'll talk about First World War and Second World War. Next week is the week of war.
Next week, don't we have a field trip?
On Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh!
True.
Yeah, I remember. No, we can do that in the print trip while we're in the bus. So, Mike, can you? So, please, next week